Well, hello guys and welcome back to the channel, and today I bring to you the review of what I think it's the best chapter of Fairy Tail this year so far. We are six months into the year, and my god, this chapter was mind-blowing. I am talking about, of course, chapter 489 of its name, Universe 1. Never did I thought for a split second that this is what would happen with this countdown. And the name of the next chapter is even more awesome, but I'll get to that later in the video. The prospect of the consequences of this chapter are immense, and I can't even begin to fathom what's going on Hiro Mishima's head. I know, I've said that the versus Alvarez Arc was getting a little bit stale, and I still believe that. That's up to this chapter, up to the last chapters. The arc was a little bit stale. The fights were ending pretty quicker than they should, in fact. But this chapter, the end of this chapter, actually opens a window that can change all of that. But we'll get to that later in the video. To start, we see the first consequence of this chapter, which is the direct consequence of Mast's actions. And we see again August in that awakened/transformed state. We see poor Brandish realizing what she's done and falling to her knees. I really don't think she deserved that. I mean, if she was a mean character, a despicable character, I guess it could have been a good strategy by Mast's part, but being Brandish how she is, who she is, she's not really that evil. Yes, she's on the bad guy side, but she hasn't done really anything to put in danger the guild or anything. She fought against them back in Caracol Island, but that was a typical situation of bad guys versus good guys. And ever since she was imprisoned by Fairy Tail, and ever since she fought against Lucy and Kana, she really didn't do anything bad. So to me, she didn't deserve this, and sadly she ended up paying the price for it, well, thanks to goddamn Mast. But if my theory realizes, and most of us readers' theory realizes, this will matter not, but August is indeed a truly powerful character. I mean, just look at that blast. I don't know if this was an explosion that began on him and then expanded and upwards, or if it was something that is summoned from the heavens. Is it like a ray of light raining down from the heavens? Is it an explosion centered on him and then it expands sideways and upwards? I don't know. I don't even think we need to know, because this is powerful enough. And as of course Happy, Mast, Lucy and Natsu all go to quoting August Oblivion, and we don't get to know if they are dead or just massively injured. And again, if the hypothesis is true and the theories are real, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, that beam of light is seen all the way in the guild, and at the same time Kana finally uses fairy glitter and manages to free Mavis from her crystal chrysalis. But it appears that, and of course being trapped in a lacrima for God knows how many years, she can't move. So GG, we done all that effort and now she can't move. Nice. But all of a sudden the action goes to Eileen versus Agnologia, and now things start to go down south in a very major way. After a little bit of chit-chat, we start to see Eileen's magic, and she apparently summons a meteor. I don't know if Agnologia says that it's an atmospheric enchantment. So it looks like a meteor, but what if she was able to create an explosion out of thin air. Just with some chemistry, what if she was able to create an explosion? It doesn't look like an explosion because if it was an explosion, it would have enveloped technology and not just like something it could block. But creating a meteor out of thin air seems even more, how can I say this, unrealistic. Of course, it's a manga, but still, let us have some decency here, for Christ's sake. And the fight keeps on after an exchange of strikes. Acknowledge calls her a high enchanter. This is a pretty cool information because it's the first time anyone is referred to be with such title. So is this something higher than a simple mage? Is it a different type of magic? I believe that Aelin's magic is some sort of topographical magic. At first I thought it was a weather magic, a sort of weather magic, but now I think that it's so much more than that. I believe, and it is shown to us, that she's able to manipulate the fabric of space and time. And I had a little idea about that, but I'll save it for the end of this video. They exchange some compliments, and then things start to really shape up. Eileen mentions the fact. Eileen mentions Fairy Heart again, which is something that has been kind of forgotten during the saga. We know that the Alvarez Arc the Alvarez War began because of Fairy Heart, but so far it hasn't really been a topic of discussion. We found out that Fairy Heart was Mavis Lacrima itself, an endless source of magic, but we found out about that and then, okay, let's go to war. And no one mentioned Fairy Heart ever again. And now Eileen brings up the topic again as she's about to do something very drastic. I wonder, is it really that important to have an endless source of magic power? Zareth is a pretty powerful mage, so doesn't he already have a pretty high source of magic power within him? We know that normal wizards have one magic power storage container, sort of. They can awaken a second one, and then there's the third one, but that one completely depletes the magic power within a person and then renders them unable to use magic ever again. So I suspect that Zareth has at least those two containers. And I suspect that they are pretty big. They have been upgraded to the max level and they can hold over 9,000 MP in there. So the guy doesn't get banned for hacks, but yes, you catch my drift. But for some reason he's interested in an endless source of magic, which is Fairy Heart. It doesn't make sense unless Fairy Heart is more than it actually was shown to us. If it's not only an endless source of magic power, but as an endless source of knowledge, and that knowledge is what will make Zareth able to defeat Technologia. I don't know, an endless source of magic just seems unnecessary to Zareth the Black King himself. But Eileen now says that Zareth is taking this war as a kind of a game. And it is. His pawns are falling like flies and he doesn't even care. So, Eileen's gotta step up the game and finish it. And all of a sudden, a bright light shines from where she stands. And it envelops all of Fiore's kingdom. All of it. And this is the interesting part. Because it's not the whole world. Just Fiore. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen on Fiore. Now, everyone sees the light. Oraxium says, Fairy Tail, Sabretooth, even Di Maria, even Mavis and Kana from the basement of the guild. And we see Zareth saying, you actually used that magic. And that magic is world reconstruction magic Universe 1. And I was like, wait, world reconstruction magic? This is big. This is very, very big. Because on one hand, we have a magic that can reconstruct a world. So, as I said, a magic that is able to tap into the fabric of space and time. Second of all, it's not an old magic. Acknowledge has said that it didn't knew that magic. Eileen said that if you went back 400 years and even further, you wouldn't find this magic because this is a new era magic. I wonder if she was able to create this magic herself. I said that I found a little parallel between Eileen's magic and some other things, and that is between some of the Alvarez members, the Spring and 12 members' magics. We have the Maria with a sort of space magic. She was not space time, sorry. She was able to stop time. So we have the time aspect of that. We have Brandish, who was able to manipulate mass, either enlarge it or diminish it to a microscopic level. So that's the matter side of things, because Eileen needs to manipulate mass with this magic. I don't know if it can be considered space, but Redmond's magic, which is, if I'm correct and if it really is, he's able to teleport, even if unknown to him, people to another dimension, which he calls purgatory. We also have Nainhart, which can't really be considered space, but he's able to like summon people based on other people's feelings. Who else? There's really not much, and now that I think about it, really, the connections aren't really that much. But what I thought is, what if Eileen took the teachings of space, time, and matter magic and combined them into creating world reconstruction magic? Because if she says that this is a new era magic, then we gotta assume that it was created recently and that it is not being known to be used before. Because if it was, it would have been mentioned earlier. It would have been given a little hint to us as it why there was an event that was recorded in history, but it was confusing. And then we got, oh, why is that? And now we see this, oh my God, what if that event? But since none of that happened, I'm going to assume that it's at least an 100-year-old magic or 50 years old magic. Now, as for the consequences of this magic, and picking up on next chapter's title, Fairy Tale Zero. Will Eileen's magic, will Universe 1 be achieved? Will the magic work? Will we see a reconstruction of the past events? Has the Alvarez Arc been for nothing up so far? Have all of those battles, all of those quick defeats, Gargil's dead, Shelley's losing her magic, everything in the Alvarez Arc been for nothing so far? It is kind of cool to see that the numbers all match quite good, because 489 Universe 1, 490 Fairy Tale 0. It's the countdown was really, but what will happen if Universe 1 is completed? How far will we go back? Assuming, of course, that it is a magic that taps into the time fabric, leaving alone the space and matter fabric, but the time. If it taps into the fabric of time, it could change everything. It could change everything within Fiore. That's the other thing. It's not a worldwide magic so far. It's only restricted to Fiore. So my guess is Eileen has the knowledge of everything that happened in the Alvarez Arc. That's why she hasn't appeared so far. She has been collecting the information regarding all of the fights, all of the people who fought against who fought against who, their magic, their weaknesses. And she's the only one, if Universe 1 is indeed what we think it is, she's the only one that will retain the knowledge from this battle. And then, either that, or she's just doing this so she could go to Zaref and say, you need to hurry up. Let's cut this play time. Just go there, get Fairy Heart, and let's get the hell out of here. I don't think that's really the case, because that would be unnecessary. So, but then again, if we are about to see a full reconstruction of the Alvarez Arc, it would feel kind of, I don't say unnecessary, because if it was for some of the fights to be longer and actually more enthusiastic, then by all means bring it. By all means reboot the entire Alvarez saga if you need to. If it is to make the fights more enjoyable and memorable, then by all means I'm all down for it. So yes, all the consequences that happened this chapter, Natsu, Lucy, and Brandish, and Happy, Screwmast, that will all be reverted back. Probably Mavis' release will also be reverted, has to restore Fairy Heart, because if she's now free, then technically Fairy Heart is no more, unless Fairy Heart is herself. So she's going to go back to Sealing again, and Shelly is going to retake her magic. Gadget is going to come back to life. Yes, but I don't know. The title Fairy Tail Zero remotes to the side story Fairy Tail Zero, in which Mishima tells us the origin of Fairy Tail. Mavis, Pirahito, Makarov's father, which I forgot the name, and Warrod, how the four of them began Fairy Tail. So I don't think we are going to go that far back, because if it was to go that far back, the magic would need to envelop the whole world, because when Fairy Tail was formed, the world was different, the people were different, times were different. So if it is to go back that far, then the magic would need to envelop the whole world. If it just envelops Fiore, then I'm guessing that it's just going to affect Fiore and its recent events. And the recent events being the war against the Alvarez Empire. So, I've been going on around in circles for the past 5 minutes, most likely. But I am really excited to see the next chapter. I cannot wait. And I really, really hope that it is a sort of reconstruction. If not a full reboot of the saga, then please, just a few fights just to make us, just bring Gadgil back to life. If only just bring Gadgil back to life. All the rest, we can leave it as it is. Maybe Mavis will be able to stop the reboot sort of thing. Maybe now that she's free, she will be able to stop the reboot. Who knows? Only the author does, and I'm very, very sleepy. I've gone to bed way too late because of E3. So E3 is awesome. If you like games like me, you have to have been following E3. E3 was awesome. Sony's conference was awesome. All the conferences were awesome. Games are awesome. Anyway, this is not a gaming channel, and I don't have a gaming channel yet. This is a manga review channel, and I say my goodbyes to you for Fairy Tail this week. Coming right up, we have this week's review of the 7 Deadly Sins, which took an unexpected turn. I did not expect the way this chapter began. So, if you want to know my opinions on that chapter, please tune in for the next video coming right away, the 7 Deadly Sins. I say my goodbyes to you for Fairy Tail this week, and bye-bye.